It is an incredible and lovely day here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, and with me is the founder of eWomen Network, the one and only is Sandra Yancey. Thank you so much for being out here.
Maria, thank you for having me.
Yeah. I know you're on a whirlwind tour right now, and Las Vegas is one of your stops. So let's get a little bit of information about what eWomen Network is all about.
eWomen Network is an organization primarily for women entrepreneurs, women who have responsible for creating revenue for their firms. It's an opportunity for women to connect in a way that I think that really resonates with women. We're business focused, so we want to know, what you do, what you need, what is it that's important to you in order to generate revenue for your business, how to monetize your business.
One of the great things that I love about you is you actually started as a solopreneur, and so many people know of eWomen Network as this massive organization which you've grown to with tremendous success. So how did it all start?
Well, I moved to Dallas. I was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. I had done the whole corporate shtick, if you will, like so many women do, 13 years in corporate America. I had left to go out on my own. I moved to Dallas for my husband's business, and I didn't know anyone. And I was living on a plane. I was miserable, and my husband said, look around. We live in this major city now, Dallas. 10 miles from our house is world headquarters for Frito-Lay and JCPenney, and Ross Perot has his big complex, Cadbury, Schweppes. I mean, the list goes on, but none of them were my clients. And I said, I think you're right. And they're probably hiring people, flying them in to do the very work that I could do for them, that I'm flying out of Dallas to go do for other companies. So why don't I find a way to begin connecting with them? And networking was the opportunity. And that's when I really got the taste of the good old boys network. I mean, in Dallas, Texas, in 1998, 99, but I was in awe of it, Maria. I wasn't put off by it. I was inspired by it. I was like, these guys got it going on. And at some level, it hit me, no wonder men are where they are in business. They support each other, help each other, share contacts, leads, resources. Why aren't women doing that? And then I went to women's groups, and I found them to be social, overwhelmingly social. It's like if we bumped into each other, it was happenstance, but it was more about the weather or the parking or the economy or the kids. And all of that's okay, but we didn't transition to tell me about what you're doing with your business. What is it that you need? How can I support you and help you? Who might I know that could benefit from what you're doing? Kind of thing. And so I thought, what? There's got to be that connection between what the guys were doing and how women like to connect, and eWomen Network was born. And I started it like most women out there, most entrepreneurs, cleaned out a spare bedroom, made it a home office above the garage. I've never employed anyone before. I'd never run a multi-million-dollar business. I didn't have any of that experience. 2 years into it, I was on the brink of bankruptcy.
Oh, gosh.
I was robbing Peter to mug Paul, is what I like to say. Calling the phone company. What's the least amount I can pay so I can pay the light bill, right? So I can keep the lights on. I mean, and I was exhausted and tired and overwhelmed. And I finally reached out to a girlfriend and told the truth. Because before that, what I realized is people had said, fake it till you make it.
Right.
And I know there are people out there that believe in that. I don't, because it doesn't work for me. I wasn't in my authentic place. People were asking me how I was doing. I was always saying, it's great, it's fine, when it wasn't. So people didn't think I needed help, right? And I just found myself leaving, not feeling good, not really connecting, probably because I was acting like an imposter. And who wants to connect and do business with an imposter, right? And I finally had to come to my own truth. I can't do this by myself. I mean, I want to, and I think I know the way I want it done, and I'm waiting till everything's perfect. And of course, perfection never arrives, right? So stall, and I wonder why things aren't going well. And finally, I got a coach. And I couldn't afford a coach. I had to clean out my kids' closets and take what clothes they were no longer wearing or had grown out of, take it to a consignment shop, get the money to get a coach. And then the coach says, Sandra, you need an assistant. You're imploding with the administrivia. You're not focusing on the things that make the cash register ring because you're doing all of the administrative stuff. And I was like, I just scraped up the money to get you. Now you're telling me to go hire someone. And she said, you have to trust. I mean, sometimes you have to jump off the edge, Maria, and build your wings on the way down.
Well, I think what's great about your organization is you're definitely not male bashing, and I think some people think, oh, it's a women's group.
Yeah.
And I think what you're doing is fantastic, and you're actually embracing and helping women to come in and grow their business. Tell me where people can get information on organizations. There's chapters all across the nation and in Canada as well.
In Canada and North America, and it's eWomenNetwork.com. Pretty easy, because right when you get to the homepage, it says find a chapter, find a location, find a member. I mean, anything you could ever want to kind of learn about our culture. We believe networking is about giving, and so it's a philosophically very different way of building relationships than traditional ways. We believe that the more you give, the more you get. That it's not about she who collects the most cards wins, or it's like passing out like Halloween candy. It's about slowing down. I've built several now multi-million-dollar businesses within the eWomen Network family by slowing down, creating great relationships with people like you. It's the eye-to-eye, face-to-face quality relationships, and those will lead to the doors that will really open the very things you're looking for.
Right on, and that's why we are such a proud media sponsor of eWomen Network. So please check out the organization, get connected, get involved, and go out there and grow your business. And we're with the lovely Sandra Yancey, founder of eWomen Network, and just speaking to her a little earlier on all the success of her company and how it all got started. And here you are today, actually several multi-million businesses within eWomen Network. Fabulous husband that you're working with,
yes.
Kim. Hey, Kim, how are you?
Hi, Kim.
Haven't met you, but I know we will. So here you are successful. You're growing out the chapters. People are coming out and getting involved. What more can people get from this organization?
Well, I mean, we have a eWomen publishing network. I really believe that, for some reason, I'm not here to explain why, but I know that if you've got an important message that you're trying to get out to the world, being a published author is one very powerful way of being tapped as a subject matter expert. And once you're tapped into that, you get access to media, you get access to being quoted, you get access to newspapers, you get access to being invited to different venues that you can either speak at or participate on a panel, and it moves you much more in the direction of fulfilling your dream, and that's communicating, your message. So the publishing network was a way for us to really be able to help women kind of walk through the maze of the publishing industry, and we have a whole team that guides you through the process from beginning to end, kind of soup to nuts kind of thing. We also have our nonprofit, the foundation. It's our giving back. We believe that you can't expect other people to kind of do for you what you're not willing to do for other people. So when people show up in your life and help you, you have to lift as you climb and help other people. It's just a philosophy that I believe in, and I see it work. I see the universe kind of just make things happen that you wonder, how did that happen? Or you attribute to luck. And I'm not saying there isn't luck, Maria. I'm just saying I think we give it sometimes way too much credit.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then we have the Speakers Network, the eWomen Speakers Network, which is a platform for helping all of these phenomenal companies and corporations that are looking for, entrepreneurs who have really made it. I mean, these are the people that, are on that quest, that are living their dream. There are those authors that write about it, and there are those authors that have really done it. And I've seen a real shift in people wanting to hear from people who've really done it, not just talked about it, or listened to other people do it, but have really kind of created it themselves.
I want to tap into you getting to work with your husband, because as you know, both of us as producers, I get to work with my husband 24/7, and there are some challenges with that, and there's also some wonderful perks with it.
Yes.
So tell me, how does that work for you guys in running this huge organization?
Well, Kim and I have discovered that, in the very beginning we shared an office, and over time I found that it was almost too much togetherness, it just wasn't working for us. And I left one day, it's a funny story, I left one day and I went to one of the, construction places, home improvement places, I guess is what I want to say. And I was gone for a couple hours. He calls me, he says, "Where are you?" I said, "Oh, I just got in my car. I'm on my way home." He says, "Where have you been?" And I said, "I took a workshop on how to faux paint." He says, "Well, why do you want to faux paint?" I said, "You know that workout room that the only workout is dusting the equipment?" right? I'm turning that into my office. I'm moving out of our shared office. And he said, well, why would you do that? And I said, because I love you and I want to save our marriage. You know? So what's worked for us is that we have two very different areas of the business that we manage. And most people are surprised that we don't work kind of overlapping together that much. I mean, he manages the sales and marketing side of the business. I'm field relations, chapter relations, and operations of the business. I'm more vision, strategy. He takes anything that I come up with and makes it look good and sound better than I could have ever imagined. So that's how we kind of complement each other. But it's been a journey. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that we haven't had our challenges, you know, and we've had to create boundaries as we raise a family. We have two children, and of course they were little when we started the eWomen Network. They're 16 and 21 now. One is out on her own, and I have one at home. But we've created some boundaries around when we'll talk about business, and there's certain times we absolutely won't talk about business. But what I can tell you is that we haven't completely stayed away from it, and our children have learned a lot. I mean, my daughter, I believe, our daughter has a very different view of what it means to be a contributor in an organization. She sees herself more as an intrapreneur right now, with a goal of being an entrepreneur. I see the lessons that she has learned or heard or witnessed my husband and I learn really now be applied to her relationship with her fiance. So, you know, in hindsight, sometimes, Maria, you just never know. And it's looking in the rearview mirror and seeing kind of, was it okay, you know? And I look back and I have some regrets like all, but I don't have a lot of them. I mean, overall, I feel glad that I'm working with my spouse. I know that he's got my back no matter what. I know that I can share with him my raw, lonely, scared moments. He doesn't always try to solve them. Sometimes just that hug that is just reassuring to me. He's my cheerleader, my fan. And he's a good critic that I trust because I know he wants the best for me.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on all your success. And we can't wait to meet your family.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, it's time to get out a pad, paper, computer, whatever you have, because right now we're going to tap into one of the greatest experts, most successful women in the world, Sandra Yancey from eWomen Network. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Are you enjoying your time? I know you're braving the weather out here. We're kind of windy, right?
I actually love it. It feels good. So it's all wonderful. It's sunshine, right?
Well, I know that I'm going to be listening to you very carefully because we're going to be talking about a topic that so many entrepreneurs, whether they're startup or already in business, and that is combating overwhelm.
Yeah.
I know. I hear people already right now going, "Yes, that's me."
Yeah.
So let's tap the subject.
Yeah, I think a real secret to success is overcoming overwhelm. And what I can tell you, I witnessed not only in myself, but I see it in the thousands of others of entrepreneurs that I speak to annually, and that is we get caught in the vortex sometimes between what we want to do and what gets done. And what I know is that learning how to make that segue is where the transformation comes in. And what I've learned is that there's several things that you can do. Number one, I think it's really important to understand that it's the pursuit of progress, not the pursuit of perfection. Okay, so sometimes it's just about moving out there, right, and tweaking and torquing and learning along the way. Because the truth of the matter is you're never going to be able to anticipate all of the possibilities that will lead ultimately to your success. So far, my experience has been I've never had plan A work. It's always been plan B. So why am I worrying about trying to make plan A perfect? Right? By the time sometimes you move, what happens is you become a me too or an also ran. You're almost too late. Number two, what I can tell you is that you need to take an inventory of who you're hanging out with. I mean, success is directly related to the people in your circle, you know, and if you're the one that's kind of leading all the conversation or asking all the questions or having all the answers, you know what? You need a new group. I have found that being a great leader is not about having the answers, it's about having great questions, right? So you want to be in an area where you can ask questions and learn from other people. Okay, so that's really important. You need to have a great A team. Your A team needs to consist at a minimum of a great administrative assistant that can take care of all of the things that don't make the cash register ring but are absolutely important. You need a great financial advisor, someone that's really looking out for you, your dreams, that you're planning for them along the way. You need a great accountant to make sure you don't get in trouble and that you're taking care of all of the tax opportunities that are possibly out there, your write-offs and that kind of thing. You don't want to spend money on things you don't have to spend them on. You need a great marketing person, even if you're a marketeer. Sometimes other people can just see what you can't see. And finally, I believe you just need a really great coach, someone that you can talk to when you have those moments of doubt, those times when you feel beat up, you know, that the world is against you, things aren't going right, you're getting ready to make this huge quantum leap and you're scared to death, and someone that can just be there for you. When you surround yourself with these kinds of people, I think, and you add a lawyer, you add a couple of others along the way, but I'm telling you, you will find that you will you will shrink the ramp-up time, right, to getting to market with whatever product or service you're trying to get out to the world.
So are you ready for the $1 million question on that? I know so many people feeling overwhelmed right now about
Yeah.
going out and getting all those people.
Yeah.
So where do they start? Because I know that every entrepreneur says, yes, team is extremely important. And just the thought of them starting to put team together, they you know what it's like. You shut down. So where do they start?
I'm going to be real honest with you. Your best favorite networking group is the place to start because they're there. And they're looking for the same thing too. And so if you're kind of cash crunched right now, you can do a little bit of bartering in that. Hey, listen, I'll show up for you in your business. You show up for me in my business. Okay? And then as you begin to generate revenue, then you can hire some things out. Hire the things that you either don't like or you're not good at. Okay? So that you can really focus. Now, I'm going to tell you one other little tip that I think is a magic maker. And that is when you make your to-do list, because I find entrepreneurs love to create their lists, even if at 10 o'clock in the morning they've done 1,000 things, when it's time to write them down, they'll write down all the things they've done and cross them off just to feel good, right? But it's the way you make your list. One of the things that I've learned, instead of just making a laundry list, make a T-chart. Make the left side important, the right side urgent. Because what happens is we get very sidetracked and distracted with the things that are urgent and never focus on the things that are important. And until you know what matters to you most, you will never be able to differentiate between an opportunity and a distraction. Right? The important things are your opportunity. The urgent things are often distractions.
Wonderful, wonderful tips. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise. Thank you for doing all that you do.
Thank you, Maria.
All right, guys, let's start combating overwhelm. We can do this. Come on, we can do this.